Healing spells scale with wisdom. Higher tier spells have higher thresholds. Meditation and hustle dance heal for fixed amounts. They are not influenced by anything. Amorph's Echo Rain takes a turn or move to set up, and then heals allies for up to 1000, also not influenced by anything. 100 is the minimum threshold for both heal and mid-heal. The maximum is 500 for heal, and 700 for mid-heal. Mega Heal scales from 500 to 1500. To avoid confusion, I set up these test monsters so that the 100 Wisdom one goes first and the 1500 one goes last. The difference between 100 and 700 Wisdom is significant, but 1500 is within variance because heal stops scaling beyond 500. Meditation heals the user for 400 to 500. It doesn't scale with anything. Hustle Dance heals all allies for 70 to 80. It also doesn't scale with anything. This is a useless skill because multi-heal is strictly better. Mid-heal can heal from 75 to about 300, depending on the user's wisdom. It scales from 100 to 700. Mega Heal can heal from around 350 to 999. It scales from 500 to 1500 wisdom. The difference between 700 and 1500 wisdom is massive in this case. Multi-heal heals all allies for 90 to 320. It scales from 200 to 1500 wisdom. Even its minimum is higher than Hustle Dance. Omni Heal is the best healing skill in the game. It's a mega heal that heals all allies for 350 to 999. Like Mega Heal, it scales from 500 to 1500 wisdom. Again, the difference between 700 and 1500 is huge. Amorph's Echo Rain is a special healing skill that takes 2 turns or moves. It heals the party for 1000 on the user's second move. If the user is unable to act on its second move for any reason, the skill fails. It's not influenced by level or stats, and it's better suited for monsters that have the double trouble trait, so it can activate on the same turn. The only advantage it has over Omni Heal is that it's not a spell, and hence not affected by silence or lingering malhaze. Breaths do fixed damage at all tiers and are not influenced by anything. Techniques are the same at the first 2 tiers, but scale with level at the 3rd tier. The exact formula is unknown, and the variance is very large. A guesstimate would be 120 plus 25 to 75% of user's level. As you can clearly see, level does not affect breath damage. But what about stats? I will use tier 4 breaths instead. It's clear that stats don't affect breaths either. Also, cold breaths are slightly stronger than fire breaths at all tiers, as they have higher minimum damage. Techniques work rather unusually in this game. They all do dual element damage, and at the first 2 tiers, they do not scale with anything. Boulder Dash is the weakest of the tier 1 techniques. It does 30 to 40 bang and donk damage. Water Spout is stronger, doing 40 to 50 crack and cold breath damage. Spark is the strongest tier 1 technique, but it's exclusive to Wolfspade. It does 50 to 60 sizz and zap damage. Its higher tier counterparts can be learned from common skill sets. Here are the same techniques used by a level 50 monster. There is no difference in damage dealt. Any minor difference is within the variance range. And now level 100. Again, there is no difference. I will skip the tier 2s as they don't scale with anything either. Plus, this video is already going to be too long. Joker's skill set, stupidly named Wildcard here, contains all tier 3 techniques. These scale with the user's level in some weird way. I can't find the exact formula, but the level scaling is very clear. At level 1, these do the base damage of around 120, and the damage variance is small. By the way, Cremate does Frizz and Fire Breath damage, and Wind Shear does Whoosh and Zam damage. At level 50, these techniques do a little more damage, and the variance is much bigger. The average damage increased by about 25, which is half of the user's level. Here's level 100. They are doing significantly more damage compared to level 1, and the variance is also significantly larger. The average increase seems to be around 50, which is again half of the user's level. The variance range also seems to be around 50, that is, half of the user's level, so, a guesstimate of the formula would be something like 120 plus 25 to 75% of level. Here are a few special skills in the game, exclusive to a small number of sets. Giga Slash and Giga Gash are physical skills that scale with level, not attack. Frizz Cracker is a single tier, dual element spell. Pearly Gates is an AoE spell that does whoosh and zap damage, and 30% more to undead. Big Banger is a technique that does fixed sizz and zammed damage. Giga Slash can be learned from Cleric and Ebonite. It does around 200 bang damage plus a percentage of the user's level. Again, the exact formula is unknown, but seems to be similar to that of tier 3 techniques. Giga Gash is just the AoE version of Giga Slash. It does the same damage. At level 50, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot more damage, or maybe I just trolled low numbers here. But at level 100, the increase in damage is significant. Since it's a physical skill, it can miss. Now, let's see if the user's attack stat has any bearing on its damage. These are all at level 100, with 10, 500, and 999 attack respectively. They all do around the same damage, so it's clear that the attack stat is not used, and neither is the target's defense. Pearly Gates is an unusual spell available only in the Priest, Kanzar, and Aquarian skill sets. It only has one tier, and while it does scale with Wisdom, from 500 to 1500, the damage difference is only 30, from a minimum of around 180 to a maximum of 210. It also does 1.3 times damage to the undead family. This damage bonus is separate from weakness and resistance modifiers. At 100 Wisdom, Pearly Gates does around 180 damage, and Frizz Cracker does around 280. Big Banger does around 175 to 225 sizz and zam damage regardless of the user's level or stats. It can be learned by anyone via the Eber's Apologist skill set. At 800 Wisdom, Pearly Gates does about 20 more damage, and Frizz Cracker does about 80 more. Frizzcracker can only be learned by common monsters via the Mage Scroll. The only monsters that can learn it naturally are Leonix and Great Godbird. Big Banger doesn't scale with anything. At 1500 wisdom, Pearly Gates does around 210, which is its maximum without tension. And Frizzcracker does around 490, which is 210 more than its base damage. Big Banger, again, does roughly the same amount. This shows the bonus damage Pearly Gates does to the undead family. None of these monsters are weak or resistant to either whoosh or zap. This is it for the second part. I apologize if it seemed disorganized. I tried to fit too much in, and there really isn't a lot of information to base on. I will leave the link to the skill info table in the description below, if YouTube still allows links. If not, you can find it on woodus.com. Please leave a like if you want to see more of these videos, or dislike if you aren't interested or have had enough. Anyway, thanks for watching.